Most people believe life begins someday in the future when the schedule clears, when the money improves, when they finally feel ready. But what few understand is this: life is not waiting. It is quietly assembling itself right now from the decisions you make on ordinary days. Not the dramatic ones, not the once-a-year resolutions, the small ones, the ones nobody applauds. Every morning you either cast a vote for the person you are becoming or for the person you will someday regret being. There is no neutrality in daily living. You are always building something: discipline or weakness, focus or distraction, momentum or delay. And here is the uncomfortable truth. Most people try not to face 5 years from now is not creating your future. Today is the way you think today. The standards you accept today, the effort you give when no one is watching today. Many people drift through their hours as if time were generous. But time is not generous. It is extremely precise. It gives everyone the same 24 hours, and then it records what you did with them. So pause for a moment and ask yourself quietly, if my life continues exactly as it is, where will I arrive? Because whether you notice it or not, you are already on the road. There is a silent danger that visits ordinary people. It does not arrive loudly. It does not announce itself as failure. It comes disguised as comfort. Comfort whispers you can start tomorrow. Comfort says this is good enough. Comfort gently lowers your standards, one small excuse at a time. And because the change is subtle, most never notice what is happening. Days turn into months. Months quietly become years. Then one morning, a person wakes up and feels a strange weight, the realization that life moved forward, but they did not. Understand this clearly. Success is rarely blocked by lack of intelligence. It is far more often blocked by tolerated mediocrity. What you tolerate, you eventually become. If you tolerate inconsistency, you become unreliable. If you tolerate distraction, you lose direction. If you tolerate average effort, you build an average life. Not by accident, by construction. You see, life is always asking a question. Are you serious about the person you say you want to be? And the answer is never given through words. It is given through behavior, especially on the days you do not feel like trying. Because anyone can move forward when motivation is high. But the future belongs to the person who understands something very simple. Mood is temporary. Standards must be permanent. So look carefully at your day, not with judgment, but with honesty. Are your actions building the life you want, or quietly postponing it? One of the greatest misconceptions about life is the belief that transformation requires a dramatic moment. It does not. Your life rarely changes in a single breakthrough. It changes in the quiet repetition of disciplined days. A walk when you would rather sit. Preparation when you would rather postpone. Focus when distraction is easier. These moments appear insignificant while you are living them, yet they are designing your future with remarkable precision. Consider this carefully. The person you become is not formed during rare bursts of motivation, but during the ordinary. Tuesday afternoon, when no one is watching, and you must decide who is in charge, your feelings or your standards. Many wait for clarity before they act. But clarity often visits only after movement begins. Action has a way of organizing the mind. Progress has a way of strengthening belief. Waiting, on the other hand, slowly erodes confidence, because each delay sends a quiet message to yourself. Perhaps this is not that important. And after enough delays, the dream that once felt urgent becomes optional, then distant, then forgotten. So do not underestimate the power of beginning before you feel prepared. You do not need perfect conditions. You need a decision, a firm internal line that says, from this day forward, I build with intention. Remember, the future is not a place you someday arrive. It is something you are constructing with what you choose to do next. There will come a day, sooner than you think, when you will pause long enough to evaluate the direction of your life, not with emotion, but with clarity. And in that moment, one question will matter more than all the others. Did I live by design, or by default. Because drifting is very easy. In fact, drifting requires no effort at all, no planning, no discipline, no courage. You simply follow what is convenient, and time does the rest. But those who build remarkable lives understand something most overlook. Urgency is not panic. Urgency is awareness, and awareness that this hour will never return, that this season of your life is not permanent, that the opportunity in front of you has an expiration date. Do not misunderstand. You do not need to rush through life, but you must stop postponing the person you know you are capable of becoming. Start before you feel fearless. Act before you feel certain. Raise your standards before the world demands it from you. Because confidence is not something you wait for, it is something you manufacture through kept promises to yourself. And remember this quietly powerful idea: your life is not being built someday. It is being built today, in this hour, in this decision. So stand guard at the doorway of your habits. Protect your time. Choose growth when comfort invites you to stay the same. And let your actions send a clear message: the future I did not wait, I built. The question is no longer whether your life is being shaped. The question is, are you shaping it on purpose? If you could see your life from 10 years ahead, you might notice something surprising. The future version of you will not be shocked by where you arrive. They will recognize it because the destination was visible in your daily patterns long before you reached it. Success does not confuse anyone who studies their habits. Regret rarely surprises the person who ignored the warning signs. The trajectory is almost always predictable. What you repeat, you reinforce. What you reinforce, you become. So the real danger is not making a mistake now and then. The real danger is living unconsciously, repeating days that do not deserve to be repeated. Ask yourself something quietly courageous: are my routines pulling me forward or holding me in place? Do they demand growth from me, or do they protect me from discomfort? Understand this: your life responds to what you require of yourself. When your standards rise, your behavior begins to rise to meet them, not instantly, but inevitably. You do not have to overhaul your entire life overnight. Great builders rarely do. They simply refuse to let another day pass without placing at least one brick in the foundation of the person they intend to become. One disciplined choice, one completed task, one promise kept. And over time, those bricks become structure, then strength, then a life that feels solid beneath your feet. So do not wait for a perfect season. Seasons are always changing. Instead, become the kind of person who builds in any weather, because the life you want is not found. It is constructed patiently, deliberately, and daily. Perhaps the greatest delusion people carry is the belief that there will be more time later, more time to begin, more time to repair, more time to become disciplined, more time to pursue what truly matters. But life has a quiet way of accelerating. Years that once felt slow suddenly appear brief when you look back on them. Opportunities that seem permanent reveal themselves to have been temporary. And the cost of delay is rarely visible in the moment. It shows itself later as doors that no longer open, paths that are no longer available, energy that is no longer the same. This is not meant to create fear. It is meant to create awareness. Because the people who build meaningful lives do not assume time will wait for them. They treat each day with a certain respect, not pressure, not anxiety, but respect. They understand that how you spend your hours is how you spend your life. So they become careful about what they allow to occupy their attention, careful about distractions that steal entire seasons, careful about habits that quietly lower their potential, careful about environments that make average living feel acceptable. And above all, they become careful about the promises they make to themselves. Nothing strengthens self-trust more than a promise kept. And nothing weakens it faster than a promise repeatedly broken. So begin building a reputation, not with the world, but with yourself. Let yourself become someone you can rely on. Someone who follows through. Someone who acts even when it would be easier not to. Someone who understands that discipline is not a punishment, it is a form of self-respect. Remember, the clock is moving whether you act or not. The only question that remains is this: when the years pass, what will they find you building?